Horseshoes. What are they for? Why do we use them? Horseshoes have been used for centuries. By the 6th and 7th century, horseshoes were already being nailed onto horse hooves. They were used in the 12th century and were used many years ago as currency. By the 13th and 14th century, people could purchase horseshoes in bulk. The main purpose of a horseshoe is to keep the horse's hoof from wearing down or splitting. They can also be shaped to help a horse walk a certain way, depending on if it limps or if it needs to walk for a show.
We interviewed Brandon Trader, who makes horseshoes and shoes horses. We asked him several questions about what he does, why he does it, and more.
Well, there's basically 4 main reasons to shoe a horse. One would be whenever wear exceeds growth. So a horse's foot's going to grow just like our nails do. And as they walk across different surfaces, it wears their foot off. Foot will actually wear more than it's growing. Well, if it wears more than it's growing, pretty soon there's not going to be much foot left and they're going to get sore. So that's probably the primary reason that we shoe most of your riding horses, is for protection, to reduce wear. Also traction, either more or less traction can be applied like on your draft horses, and that gives you a lot of traction on pavement or slick surfaces, or less traction like on your reining horses, your show horses that have to do a big long sliding stop. We use a really wide. Another reason would be therapeutic. If you have a horse that has an abnormality or an animal that's gotten hurt really bad or cut, there's different types of therapeutic shoes that we can use. And also gait enhancement. Some of your show horses that you want to walk a certain way. Probably when I started my family. Before that, I mainly trained horses for a living. But in this part of the country, it was a lot more applicable to raise a family, shoeing horses, and making the shoes myself saves me some money, and it also I can make the shoes specifically for a horse, kind of custom fit them. For making the shoes, generally you're going to have a forge or a heat source to heat up the metal, a hammer. Generally we use what we call a rounding hammer. One side of the hammer is flat and the other side has a conical shape and it's round. An anvil, and then tongs to hold the hot metal, punches to make the nail holes, pritchels to knock the bottom of the nail holes out, and what we call a fuller or a creaser, which makes the crease in the horseshoe.
So why do we have all the superstition? One thing is that if you have a horseshoe right side up, it's considered lucky. But if it tips, all the luck spills out. People hang horseshoes in their bedroom to keep nightmares away. A synonym for horseshoe is good luck. A reason for this could be that blacksmiths were considered magical beings. This could have influenced early belief in horseshoe superstition, and the belief may have carried on since.
But what about the timeline of the horseshoe? In 4000 BC, horses were first domesticated. In 3500 BC, the first blacksmith was documented. Some archaeologists believe that horseshoes were created by the Celts in 100 BC. In ancient times, horsemen in Asia made boots from plant materials and hides to protect their horses' feet. First clear, written evidence was found in 980. Hot shoeing became common in the 16th century. In 1674, the first farriers were documented in England. On average, a horse needs to be reshoed every 6 weeks.
I'm pretty sure you're completely bored by this documentary right now, but fear no more. Javier is here. Here are some cool fun facts. Jello does not contain horse hooves. Now I know this is a popular myth, but trust me, it does not contain horse hooves, but pig nails instead. Smiley face. Something else that is amazing is that even some wild horses are shoed just to help their hooves. Crazy, right?
Horseshoes have changed value many times throughout history. During the Crusades in 12th century England, shoes were cast from iron and often were more valuable than coins cast from the same metal. The process of making a horseshoe is very time consuming though. We asked Brandon about the whole process and how it works.
Basically what you're doing is you're just heating up and hitting hot metal. The first thing you'll do is make the toe bend, and we're starting out with a straight piece of steel cut to a certain length, and then you make your toe bend, so you're making it into a U shape, and then from there you forge the heels on each end of the shoe, and then you bend the branch around. So you're gonna basically, when you crack the toe bend, you're gonna be like this. You forge your heels on, then you're going to bend this branch, and then you're going to bend this branch to where now you've got a horseshoe shape. And from there you're going to punch your nail holes and or crease the shoe, and then punch your nail holes.
How are horseshoes made? Horseshoes are usually made in a forge. However, we also have pre-made horseshoes that are created in factories by machines. These tend to be lower quality than forged shoes. In ancient times, horseshoes in Asia were made of plant materials. The first patent for a horseshoe making machine was made in 1835 by Henry Burden. His machine made up to 60 horseshoes an hour.
Horseshoe making machines have played a very important role in America's history. One of the most famous wars in America was the Civil War. Believe it or not, horseshoe making machines played a very big part in that war. During the American Civil War, the Northern forces had a horseshoe forging machine that gave them a distinct advantage over the Southern armies. We also asked Brandon about his personal opinions, such as, what is the easiest and hardest part of making a horseshoe? This was his answer.
It's really tough because so much of each step relies on how well you did the step before. I would say the hardest thing is to get flow and balance in a shoe. To get a shoe to really flow nicely and not be off center or out of balance. Because you can shape a shoe to where it'll fit on a horse's foot, but doesn't necessarily look pretty or look nice. To get that flow and to get your lines really straight, and really to do a pretty job is probably the most difficult part of the whole process.
What about the mechanics of horseshoes? Horseshoes weigh around 2 pounds or 10 ounces, no more. If it is more than 2 pounds, then the horse will feel the weight on their feet, which is the last thing farriers want. Also, no horseshoe can exceed 7 1/4 inches in width. Again, this would make the horse uncomfortable. A horseshoe must always have 7 nails in it. There are also a lot of laws for horseshoes that need to be followed, such as an altered shoe. Any shoe that has been changed from its original design shall be considered an altered shoe. An altered shoe is illegal and cannot be used in any event. Cool, right?
Overall, horseshoes have made a huge impact on domesticating horses, transportation, and much more. Horseshoes have been on this earth for centuries and will be around centuries to come. Hopefully you now want to turn into a horse and get chewed. I hope you enjoyed our documentary.